Well, greetings, everyone. We're so excited to be with you today. I'm excited because I have Janice Miner, and the topic today is food for thought. She's the founder of See You Healthy. Let's get started. So, as we get started, I forgot to tell you, my name is Leslie Montgomery. And you are tuned into LKM Kingdom Living. And so today we have a special guest with us, and I'm excited that she's going to talk to us about being healthy, eating the right foods. On Thursdays we have Teresa Baxton that comes on and she shares with us different techniques on how to breathe and help us make better decisions or help us get through the day. So, Janice is so happy to have you. It's not your first time, but it's been, I look back, you haven't been on here since 24.
Wow.
So it's been a minute that you've been on, but you've been on here before. She's no stranger to uh, Leslie's Lessons Learned, and we're just excited to have her back. She is a certified functional nutritionist counselor, along with integrated health. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
And nutrition coach. She is the founder of the See You Healthy creator, you know, and creator. I told Janice, I ain't reading all this stuff you done sent me, but I'm gonna give you an opportunity to share with the people what you do and who you are. So
Okay.
welcome today. Thank you so much for agreeing with being on here. And I'm going to turn it into your hands. I might have some questions as we go along, but I'm going to turn it into your hands.
Well, it's my pleasure. Thank you, Leslie, and my honor you having me on today. And as she said, my name is Janice Miner. I'm a certified functional nutrition counselor and integrative health and wellness coach. And I know that's a long title. And for you, you just want to know what in the world does that mean? So simply put, I'm a health detective and I look for clues that leads me to the root cause of what's making you ill or what's making you sick in the first place. And I do that from a three root methodology where we understand food and we understand the biology of our body, and that's where food meets physiology. So that's basically what I do, and God has just given me this charge to help people restore their health through the understanding and stewardship of sustainable life, because we're always working on in the spirit realm and in the mental realm and making sure that our thoughts line up with Christ. And that's exactly the foundation of where See You Healthy comes from, because God created us spirit, mind, and body. So we are a three-part being, and He wants us to take care of all three parts. So that's a little bit about what I do.
That's a whole lot. Um, I didn't even know that it entailed all that, but that's not an easy thing to do. You really have to know the body in order to understand that. And one of the things, I think the last time you were on, you made us a meal.
Oh, yeah, I did kale salad, I think it was. I don't know.
Health salad. Yeah, I don't know. I think that was the last time you were on, and
It
I
was.
was thinking about having you back on to do something like that. I want to say hello to those that have joined us. Thank you so much for being here, Alfreda and Dana and Michelle and anyone else. If you come in now or later, welcome, welcome, welcome. But I would like for you to take a moment and hit that like sign, subscribe, and share before we go any further. So, um, Janice, you know, you've been working on this for years, and I was like, Janice, don't you take another class, don't you take, and Janice, I'm doing this class, I'm doing this class, but you needed it to get to where you are today.
Yeah.
And it's not something that you're just doing, it's something that you practice in your own life, how to eat and what to stay away from and those type of things. And I know you're going to talk about some things, but one of the things I thought about is a lot of times our mindset, a lot of times our frustration, I don't even know if frustration is the word, but we get antsy.
Mhm. Mhm.
And a lot of times it does come from different foods that we eat that doesn't cause it, but it enhances it.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know, it's like that. It enhances that along with not getting enough rest.
Mhm.
All these things in our lives play a part. So, you said you had some things for us that you wanted to share.
Okay. Well, just to piggyback on what you said, all things are connected. That's one of the things that I share with all my clients and everywhere I go, that we are unique. All things matter and all things are connected. And when we understand how all things are connected, we have a different outlook or a different view of our body, of health and of food. Because when we look at ourselves, I'm just doing I have a meeting to do tomorrow on body uh, morphosis. But at any rate, when we think about our body and we look in the mirror, we only think about fat. We only think about the visceral fat that we see just right underneath our skin, which is something we should be concerned about too. But it's the brown amylose fat that actually blocks our body from taking the nutrients from the food that we eat. And a lot of times we wonder, well, I'm eating the right thing, so why don't I see these changes? Well, it could be that the amylose fat around our organs is so compressed that the vitamins can't really get through or penetrate like they should on a cellular level. So that's why it's really important to understand why you eat. A lot of times we go out and say, oh, this smells so good. I'm going to get that. I want that. So we're led by our eyes instead of being led internally by what our body
And
is.
our senses,
Yeah.
what we smell.
Yeah, exactly. But that's where digestion actually begins. It
Really.
begins when we think about it, when we smell it, when we put it on our plate, when we take that first bite. And most people think that digestion starts after the food reaches the small intestines, going through the stomach, and just when we feel packed. Okay, I've eaten something, so we feel that in the lower and upper part of our stomach, and we think that's where digestion starts, but it doesn't. And if we understand the origin and where it starts, we begin to have more like a ceremonial celebration when we eat. We don't just rush and say, oh, I'm so tired, I'm so famished, I got to get something to eat now, and just rush it down. We take the time and we sit down over our plate of food, we think about what we have to eat, and we eat slowly. There's always patterns in the world. And when we look at babies, when they learn to eat, they take small bites. And sometimes the baby will have something in their mouth and you're, oh, because you want to feed them and you want to get on with whatever else you're doing. And they're just taking their time, because they're using their palate, they're using their tongue, they're getting it mixed with the saliva, and then they swallow it. Sometimes they eat, because they're hungry, they'll eat 2 or 3 bites and then they'll stop and they'll play around, in that high chair. And then, you have to feed them something else. And the same happens with the birds. They will eat and nibble or, take a worm. And if they swallow a worm, then they will peck around and move around. They don't eat for a while, and then they'll start pecking on the seeds and things in the ground. So
Mm.
God's given us visuals to help us understand how we are supposed to sit, around a table or at our plate, and how we eat it. And even when we're out being entertained or we go out for a meal, have you noticed how much slower we will eat? Because we eat slower, we talk, we look at what's going on. But when we're home, sometimes we rush in from, the day outside, and we're grabbing something while we're making something, or we eat really fast because we want to move on to the next thing. And all of that interrupts how the vitamins and the mineral system, which we need to give us fuel and energy, works in our body. And that's why a lot of times we get sick and we run for a prescription. We don't know why. It's like, oh, I've had this upset stomach. I feel like I have GERD. I really don't have, acid reflux, but I feel like I have this heartburn, or feel like the food is stuck in my throat. And it could be the combination of the vitamins and minerals that we've eaten because of the food that we have selected. So it's really important when you eat food to beat fatigue, it boosts your energy. And so when you eat like that, you look at your plate with a variety of, oh, let's just say, um, it's breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, and dinner. And when we think about that, that's a lot of food, and a lot of people have told me, and I was one of those. I don't eat that much. I'm not hungry during those times, so why should I eat it if I'm not hungry? Well, it doesn't mean that you eat a whole meal. It doesn't mean that you have um, a plate of something that you have to eat 5 times.
I got to stop you for a minute. Hold that cup up again.
Oh,
Her cup is made by Mixed Berries, which is my niece Christine Elias, and she is also on. And then I'm doing a little
okay.
advertisement, right?
I advertise for her when I go out.
And if you're in need of mugs, keychain buttons, it doesn't matter. T-shirts,
She,
cups, yeah.
she
Go
actually,
to mixedberry.com and you can see and order something from her. I just wanted to throw that little.
when you see me, if you see me in photos with an outfit on that has my logo, that was Mixed Berries.
Yes, yes. Mhm.
Well, thank you, Chrissy. Okay.
Oh,
So I was talking about the difference between eating to beat fatigue and boosting energy because they go hand in hand. Food is synergy for the body when we eat it right because it's fuel. It's like we wouldn't have a car and want to take care of it and go and to some off name, you know, gas station, and especially if we've been told, that gas has water mixed in it. Every time I get gas, my car doesn't run right. We wouldn't put that in you. We would go and put, better quality gas in our car. When you put better quality gas in your car, you can go from zero to, you'll see your car will just go from 0, 20, 40, 50, and it'll go beyond, and it'll go smoothly. But if you put something in there that's not good for it, it's going to put, 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 and
yeah,
your
yeah.
filter is going to get all clogged and your car is going to stop. Well, I use a lot of simple analogies, and that's what I, surmise when we talk about this, about beating fatigue. So if you're tired all the time and you say, well, you know, I ate a bowl of oatmeal, and well, I had a half of a grilled cheese sandwich, for snack, or um, I had some pasta, for lunch, and I had a good dinner. I had some salmon or some fish, and I had a salad. Well, in the morning, you know, you should eat like a king. You should just really be bountiful on what you eat. And then for lunch, you're going to slow that amount down, but at night you're going to eat like a pulper. But you're not going to eat starchy or heavy carbohydrate foods. And I've been around and had people around when I eat breakfast, and they said, Janice, you told me not to eat oats, and you're sitting there eating a whole big bowl of oatmeal. But there's a difference. If you get an instant package of oatmeal or you get round oats, they have processed out all of the complex carbohydrates that your body needs from that particular um, grain. And
Yeah.
it is a grain. So if you eat steel cut oats and you put soy or you put nut milk in it instead of dairy milk, add some chopped nuts there, and you add some or some pumpkin seeds, and you add some maybe hemp seed, or you add some you drizzle it with a healthy fat like an olive oil or a avocado oil, just a little instead of butter, and um, you can put a little milk in it, but it's still oats. And so now that acts like a scrub board for your digestive system as it goes down. And
So
when you
let me stop you for a minute because it sounds like you're saying that there's a difference in the oats.
No, they all start out the same. They all come, the oats come, it's a grain, and it all comes out like a grain. when you go through a meal of still processing, that's the very first process in the oats. The hull, if you will, or the seed content is in the steel cut because they're chopped really small. They're not peeled, and they're not flattened, and they don't go through that roller and
Right.
out everything, and they don't cook it before they process it. So a still oat product is like eating a raw, real product, and that's why it's much better for you. And if you are low in fiber, it is a great source to pick up instead of going to get what's all the stuff they have out there in the little bottles that you take and you
The
mix it.
energy drinks? No.
No, 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 I'm having a brain fart. But it's the fiber that like Miralax, or this cell trait that the doctors, if you go and um, to have an endo or whatever, and they say, "Oh, you need more fiber. Here, go get some Miralax and take a little bit every morning or whatever." Those are chemically developed fiber enhancers, but it doesn't make the fiber that our body needs. Our body needs fiber to push out foreign things. And when we develop a virus or a cold, if we have enough fiber in our body, that that virus will wrap around, or not wrap around, but uh, the natural real fiber will wrap around that virus and helps get rid of it out of your
Okay.
system. And that's one reason why you don't drink orange juice, because of the acidity and how it holds. If you take a glass of orange juice and you leave it out in a glass and you leave it on the counter and it gets warm, and then you stir it, you can see it. You can see the separation, and you can
Right.
see how it swells. Well, that's what it does in the body, but because it's an acid based product, it doesn't mix well with the alkaline balance in our system. So if you got a cold, you don't reach for orange juice, but you eat oranges and you eat tangerine, you eat the live fruit, because the fiber is in that fruit. It's not in the juice. E-
Mm.
Even when we juice it. Now, if we have a really good juicer that juices the juice, but leaves some of that fiber in, then you're all good. But most of us, I've found that we have a juicer that when we juice our fruit, we look in the discard tray, and all the good stuff that we
It's
need
in there.
is there, and we throw it away. But when you eat this bowl of oatmeal, you have complex carbohydrates, you have fiber, you have your protein because you've added in a little of uh, the milk, whether it's nut milk, whether it's a lactose milk, whether it's soy milk. You get a little protein from that. You get protein from your seeds and nuts. You get iron because steel cut oats has iron in itself, and plus you're getting iron from the seed, and you get magnesium, and you get vitamin B's, and you get complex vitamin B. So it's not like you just get one. So when you're sitting down eating that bowl of oatmeal, if you've added all these things to it, you got a power packed way to start your day. And it keeps you satiated. So you are less hungry longer. And you can sit down, you can be out with a person, and you have the same, you order breakfast, and you order a high protein complex carb breakfast, and you're fine. You don't have to eat as much. You have energy to go on. And the person you with maybe ordered pancakes, and pancakes, eggs, and bacon.
Yes.
They pour syrup on their pancakes, and it's real good while they're eating it.
Yes.
But then they're like, oh, the more water or coffee they drink, the more they swell, and they feel like they need to really go take a nap instead of just, they don't feel like hitting the track, or running or doing some exercise. So that's a difference in the amount or the kind of nutrients that we extract from food. And when we talk about the B vitamins that you get just from that simple bowl of oats, you get an energy boost for your metabolism, and it helps the function of your nerve system. So you're
Mm.
not just saying, "Oh, I got some vitamins in here." You're getting vitamin B1, that's thiamine, and that
Wow.
you get that, and it not just in oatmeal. But since we're talking about that breakfast food, I'm just bringing that up. But you get those vitamin vitamin B1s from peas, from meats, from soybeans, from lentils, from potatoes, from whole grains, which is why I mentioned the oatmeal. And you also get vitamin B in that, which is riboflavin, and we get that because that energy helps the production of our cells. That's a cellular function that happens when we eat or when we intake riboflavin. And riboflavin, it like it's like a chain that wraps around that vitamin B,
What
which
is
is
it called?
by riboflavin in vitamin B2, and there is thiamine in vitamin B1. And you get this, like I said, from our peas, not our green beans, not our broccoli, but you get this from peas, from meat. You get it from soybeans. You get it from potatoes and whole grains, especially sweet potatoes.
I was just saying I'm getting ready to go buy me some sweet potatoes.
Yes, yes. And sometimes it's hard for us to distinguish well, not so much me because I'm from the South and I can tell a difference from a yam and a sweet potato, because sometimes in the store they just call all of it sweet potato, but a yam has more starch than
Right.
the sweet potato. Okay, and then
Fine, really.
yeah, yeah, it is. The vitamin B3, which is niacin, we get that in this oat bowl of oatmeal, and we get vitamin B12. The vitamin B6 now is helping the digestive system, so that helps not only get things rotor-rooted out through your digestion, but it also helps the skin. Because a lot of times we wonder, people feel like, well, I got eczema and my skin is extra dry in the winter and I'm itchy, and they think that something topical that we put on it is going to cure that. Now it's like putting a band-aid on. It's going to help it a little bit, but it's not going to put natural moisture back into the skin. But the vitamin B3s and the vitamin 6, it does that from the inside out. And because I'm a faith-based, holistic and functional teacher, everything goes back to the Bible, and everything starts inside before it's shown up outside. And
Right.
that's a principle God has put in and through everything. Through everything. Our spiritual transformation starts inside. Our mental transformation and, you know, taking control of our thoughts starts inside our mind, inside our brain. And so it's no wonder that the inside of health that's going to radiate outside on your skin starts from within. And so let's say we move along and then it's midday and we need a snack. So if we reach for a healthy snack, not a protein bar, and we may think, oh, this bar only has, 120 calories, or this little package only has 100 calories in here, so I can eat that. A calorie is a calorie is a calorie in our brain system. Our brain doesn't know the difference from if we sit down and eat a Snickers bar than if we eat a bowl of Greek yogurt. It just knows it's a calorie. So it's our responsibility to understand the caloric amount that we're putting in our body. So if you're ravenous and you say, I need something quick, and you get a candy bar or you get a donut, knowing the language of your body is telling you that you are energy depleted, that your muscles are becoming depleted, that your organs are becoming depleted. So you want to feed those things. And the reason our mind goes to sugar first is because when we eat something that has sugar in it, we have
Yes.
that sugar rush really quick, but then we drop down. So if we pick up an apple, or if we pick up a bowl of berries, or we pick up some carrots and some hummus, or we pick up some Greek yogurt, and add some other, that's a protein base in itself. So it's not a sugary carb base like the candy bar or the little cookies or crackers, but this is a protein base, and it has antioxidants in it, which now is going to help your immune system. And your immune system has to be in high gear to kick in that energy that we're going to get from our foods. And now you're
So
at
let me ask you a question. Do you do granolas?
yes, I
Okay.
do granola, but I make my granola. I used to
Okay.
be a fan of just getting granola, and I would go out and buy it. It is so fascinating that once you understand what the body needs, you don't just go to the store and shop. And this is why I try. it was such, I want this so much for people that I see that needs it, but I want it more than what I want it for them more than they want it for themselves, because they pass over it. They don't want to learn that knowledge. It takes time to learn this before you see it show up on the outside. And they want a quick fix. It's like, no, I got a friend and they eat this. Or like when you said, did I eat granola? And they'll say, well, you eat granola. I eat granola. So granola must be good. But if you go to the store and buy the bag granola, you're getting processed rolled oats, and you're getting the processed ingredients that they put in there to increase the shelf life. You're getting artificial flavoring in there. You're getting cane syrupy based sugars, or you're getting maple syrup that's not actually really 100% maple
People.
syrup. So, is it better than reaching for a candy bar? Sure, if you only use the portion size that's on that package. But most people just pour it on or
You-
spoon it
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Oh, this is not enough. I need to add some more.
Yeah. And then too, even though granola is good, it may be good for you, it may be good for me, but if I had an elevated A1C, then store-bought granola is going to give me a sugar spike, and that's bad. So you have to understand not just the foods out there that are great, but you have to understand the genealogy of your own body, and that's where the real work comes in. And it's fascinating to me as I work with people and they don't like to fill out all these sheets. And what do you need that for? I just want to lose 20 pounds. I just want to. It's like, look, do you want to keep it off? Do you want it to be sustainable? Do you want to have energy once you lose this weight? Do you want to lose this weight and have a bunch of flabby skin, or do you want to look toned and tight?
Yeah, I just saw something the other day because in my mind, in order to get rid of the flabby, you got to be working out. But I heard that certain foods and stuff you eat will tone, and I thought that that was interesting.
Well, do you think I exercise like that?
No,
I'm halfway through my 70s, and
that's
there's
right.
no way.
Look, and she looks fabulous. Please, she looks fabulous.
And you can make this change any time frame in your life, and you will see benefit. I didn't eat like this all my life.
Right.
Tragedies and things that happened to me caused me to investigate food, and investigate how to get really well, and not to walk with a cane, and not to I wanted to be able to run with my grandkids, and I wanted to
Yes.
do the things that I normally like to do. And you have to put in the work. You have to put in the work, and you can't compare uh, at our stage. If you're in your 60s, 70s, going into your late 50s, you can't use the same dietary standards that somebody who's 35, 37, 38, 42, what they're doing, because their metabolism system hasn't worn down as much as
Wow.
yours. So you have to understand the age stage that you are in, and fortify that to get the same result that they're getting. So yeah, when I say I make my matter of fact, we may do an episode on that, and
That'd be good.
take long to make it, and
Yeah.
you can see me making that. And you put it in an airtight container, and it lasts you for like 2 weeks.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, and you can put in there what you like instead of buying something and it may have some things in it that you don't. So yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
so
like that.
when you eat that yogurt, and you can add that granola and everything in there, and you add your nuts and your berries in there, you have antioxidants, you have more fiber added to the fiber that you have for breakfast, and you have some healthy fats, because the healthy fat that's in there is the fat that comes from that yogurt, because a
See,
yogurt.
that's what I want to ask you about, and I'm not going. I don't want to keep you long, but you hear don't do any dairy. Yogurt is dairy,
Yeah.
and I hear you saying the Greek yogurt is fine.
Mhm.
Is it or isn't it? What makes it fine? What makes it not fine?
What makes it not fine is if you go out and buy Yoplait or any of these other commercial yogurts.
Okay.
They go through the same commercial chemical big manufacturing process, and they add sugar to these products, and they add artificial coloring to these products, and they add artificial flavoring to these products, and they use watered down ingredients, and they add fat like extra butter or a, a vegetable oil in it to give it the oil base. So now, and then they add gum. So now you have a little bit of thickness in it. And those yogurts that you get that are really thick and they don't sit and have what, I mean, not really thick, but that are really thin, they have it has sawdust in it. And our body can't process
Did you
those
say sawdust?
sawdust
Wow.
from the mills. They have
Yeah.
sawdust.
Yeah.
So Greek yogurt is more of a pure yogurt, and you can tell that because it has like a tart taste. It doesn't have that sweet,
Sure
creamy.
doesn't. Sure doesn't.
There's a remedy for that.
Okay.
And you take that plain Greek yogurt and you drizzle in a little natural honey, not honey that you can just go out in the grocery store and buy, but local honey from your area of residence. Because when you get local honey, it helps with your immunities and allergies, and it helps you ward out colds because this is where you live. This is where these bees are pollinated, so you get that. So you can sprinkle a little of that, you know, uh, honey in there to give it a little sweetness. Or if you don't want that, you can put a little bit of monk sugar in there or a little coconut sugar in there, and that's going to give it a little sweetness. And then you're going to add fruit. So if you want blueberry yogurt,
Yeah.
add blueberry.
I do.
If you
Yeah.
want that blueberry looking color that you see in the commercial yogurts, then you blend up your blueberries and then you pour it, in there. Same with
Wow.
strawberries, pineapples, bananas, or anything else that you wanna put
Okay.
in it. So it may be an acquired taste. Um, I use plain Greek yogurt with nothing in it if I'm eating a baked potato or a sweet potato and I want to put some sour cream, or if I'm eating tacos and I want to add a little sour cream or
So
something.
you do the yogurt instead of the sour cream?
Yes, yes, because the sour cream, that dairy product, has more of the dairy that we're trying to stay away from. And I eat my eating system, and the system I teach is an 80-20 rule. You eat clean 80% of the time, and that 20% of the time that you rush out and you buy, these things, and you eat it not as a regular, but you eat it occasionally, that's not going to interfere very much at all with your health or with your digestion or with your ability. It's not going to impede you losing weight.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that was a good snack, and it's a good snack if you don't eat that, to just get a handful of nuts, and that's the key. When you get your nuts, only get a handful. I must have put it in the kitchen, but I normally keep a little container. It's no bigger than this, and I put the nuts in there because nuts are good. And if you sit there and you're eating them out of the bag, you'll eat a quarter of the bag or half the bag, and then you'll stop. But nuts have a great amount of fat in them. And even though our body and our brain needs this fat, if we overload fat when we're trying to lose weight, then our body holds on to that fat, and that's what gives us that amylose fat that wraps around our organs. So that would be a good snack. It's just your yogurt. But if you don't want to eat that, you could eat some wheat thins, maybe 5 or 6 wheat thins, and
Really? The
yeah,
ones you can buy in the store?
yes,
Okay.
and small and little a small cube, or like a Baby Bell cheese. You could eat a whole little thing of
Mm,
Baby Bell, and you can
okay.
eat that. Or you can have hummus, and you can eat that.
I'm not a fan of hummus.
You're not. I gotta
Mm-mm.
make you some. You will be.
I I be I eat it, but I'm not a fan of it.
Wow. If you put Now, I wasn't a fan, believe it or not, of avocados, but it took
I'm allergic to that.
you're allergic to it. That's
Yeah.
why you need to eat hummus because you like beans, Leslie.
I love beans. You're right.
Yeah. But if I were to go out and buy a container of hummus in the store, and it's the plain hummus, you know, I always come home and doctor it up. And so most people who don't know how to doctor it up like that, and they just go and buy it, you know, they'll eat a little bit, but they don't really like it. That's why I said a wheat thin or some type of vegetable or fruit that you like. You can use it as a dip for apples, or you can have a piece of toasted sourdough bread or rye bread,
Mm,
and spread the hummus there. Add a few pieces of apricot, dried apricot, or a piece of
I love apricot. Hmm.
and put that on there, or you can put some cranberries on there, or some they could be dried or they could be whole, and that will give you a more tartar flavor as you bite into it, and then you don't taste that the texture, which is probably what bothers you, of the hummus as much. So, and that's a good thing to know what you like and what you don't like. That is the key to understanding what vitamins you are deficient in and what vitamins that you need to get in. And dinner, you could have a piece of salmon or a piece of cod, or a lean piece of beef or roast. You can have a steak. You need protein, and I go meatless maybe 3 4 days. I try to do it for a week.
I
Um,
didn't even know you ate meat.
oh yeah,
Well, I knew you ate salmon, but I didn't know you ate like beef.
yeah. I
Mm,
don't eat that much, and I
okay.
hardly ever eat a steak. If I feel anemic, or if I get the jitters where I'm shaking, I will eat a steak. Um,
Hmm.
and the reason I do that is because the protein is more condensed in that meat. However, it takes your digestive system much longer to process that
Right.
meat and get it out. And I take a long time to eat a steak. I mean, I chew when I chew when I chew when I chew till it's like water. And I don't eat steak and potatoes together. And
You
that's
don't.
that's a whole nother episode. We don't eat
Okay.
what's on our plate right, because if we eat a bite of meat, then we end up taking a bite of our starch, whether it's rice, whether it's potatoes, whether it's noodles, and then we move on. But it's not so much what we eat, it's the order in which we eat them that boost the nutrients to start working, that like that inter extractor that starts extracting all the minerals that we need out of this food. So that's different, but we're just talking about foods
So
to
that means, so we got her to come back twice, y'all. She gonna show us how to make some things, and then she gonna tell us how to eat. So we got it locked in for twice, coming back at least twice again more.
So if you're having your protein, that meat, now you got to put a good complex starch to it, not just any old starch. And a good complex starch is quinoa, wild rice, um, brown rice, um, uh, the little vimali noodles, which are those Japanese really really thin, like paper noodles, um, chickpeas. That is all that's all good complex fiber. And when I know that I need good fiber, I will mix my brown rice, my quinoa, and uh, chickpeas or lentils together. It's all together, stirred up together, and that is my starch. That is my complex starch.
Hmm.
Because when I do that, I'm getting my vitamin D's, I'm getting vitamin C's, I'm getting B12, I'm getting magnesium, and magnesium doesn't work if we don't have vitamin K. And a lot of times, especially blacks, we are or people of color, we are deficient in vitamin D and vitamin K. And we hear about, if we go to the doctor, oh, your vitamin D is down, and they tell you to take a supplement for that. But you hardly ever hear them tell you to take the vitamin K. And the
Right.
vitamin K helps the magnesium work, and it strengthens the osteo uh, product area in our joints and in our bones. And so a lot of times, as we age, our bones are porous anyway, but the holes get bigger, and it's easier for us to fracture. It's harder for us to heal from that. It's harder for us to exercise and bend and get back up. Then we don't have the vitamin K that boosts that the magnesium that we need to eat, that our body needs. But when you this now you have your complex carbohydrate set. night, and you have your protein there together, and you can have a big salad. Now, a big salad doesn't just necessarily have to be the traditional lettuce with tomato and cucumber and carrots and all that. That's good, but that's a barrage of salads out there. So many different salads, and I implore you to just experiment with them. When it started to snow, well, even before it started to snow, because chopping still is um, it's an impingement for my shoulder because it's not totally healed yet. So I have I have this shredder that I can use, and it could shred things. But I shredded a lot of zucchini. I shredded a lot of squash. I shredded a lot of cabbage. And so when I made a salad, just to give our family a different you know, outweigh of salads, instead of having a spinach salad or having a kale salad or, the traditional mixed salad. So I would take the shredded zucchini, the shredded cabbage, red and yellow and Napa cabbage. I'd put, the onions and whatever other seasonings I wanted to put in there, leeks or whatever, put some carrots in there to make it look pretty, and toss it with a lemon vinaigrette. And with mine, I sprinkled some chopped pecans on there, and I added a couple of raisins. So that was a healthy salad. And
Sounds good.
yeah,
Hmm.
and it keeps your digestive system working. So when you are getting ready, you're eating this as your last meal, and you're getting ready to go to bed. It's like having your washing machine on slow, and it's just washing and it's washing. So the more that internal turbo turns in that washer, the more your clothes is going to beat out all the dirt and the grime in your clothes. So can you imagine when you have something in your digestive system that's turning and turning like that? It's pulling out all the nutrients. So because we get products today that are so manufactured, and they don't stay in the ground and grow and produce like they should, they've lost 50 to 55% of their nutrient value. So we would have to eat a bushel of it to get what our
Yeah,
ancestors got. So we have to know how to supplement the vitamins in there that our body needs. And so that's that way you end up with a whole day of balanced food, and that's going to give you energy. And we hear water is good. We hear that all the time. Water, water, water. Drink water. And I and I do. I drink at least 64 ounces of water every day. Just water, not water with juice in it. Not water through my coffee. Or with tea. That's an addition too. It's like tithes and offerings. You give your tithes, which is your water, and then
yeah.
your juice and your tea and all this other stuff is just a free will offering.
That's funny because the Lord was showing me something to share about water this morning.
Uh huh.
And so I'm listening to you talk about water now, and I've heard somebody else talking about water. I was like, okay, Lord, so what's with this water? So, uh,
Because we can overdo water just like we can underdo
yeah,
water.
yes,
I think a lot of us, because there's so much out there on the internet now, and I think it's a travesty that everybody is turning to like artificial intelligence, which don't know you. They don't know anything about you, and they're spitting out generalized answers, and you think, oh, well, this is what to do. I ChatGPT told me this, or
yeah,
it was here. That's information gathered over the entire world and how they apply and occupy things. And so you just can't totally rely on that. That's why coaches and mentors will never be a source that's not needed, because that person can tune into exactly who you are, where you are. And if they're trained to do it, not like, a neighbor or a friend or somebody that you look at and say, oh, I want to do what you do. Because if you do what that person does, you probably won't get that same result. So that's why, what we do is so needed, and it's a work, But we can add to that water that we drink, teas. And I love teas. There's like 20 teas that I really like. But
yeah.
green tea, I want to end with that because I know we've been on here longer than what we're supposed to be.
But you know what? I seen this thing on tea yesterday
Hmm.
talking about the teas that were no good, and I was like, they said that they were saying that the tea, make sure you get tea leaves. I'll send it to you.
Yes.
it was interesting, and I was like, should I throw all these teas out? What should I do about right now? But
No, let me tell you what to do with that. You can use those teas that you have, but get
uh-huh.
your tea leaves, and as you make your commercial tea that you have, then
Hmm.
add some of the tea
Other
leaves
tea.
to it. So
Okay.
now it's going to boost it, and you're not going to get it like if you had straight tea leaves, but you're not throwing away your money, and you're still getting the use of it. And a great thing I was going to talk about green teas, and in the green teas matcha tea is the best. It's like a
I heard that.
Japanese tea, and that's one of the reasons why the people in the Orient take that ceremonial time and they sit down. There's a time of meditation and reflection as they drink this tea. They just don't sip it and drink it and just to have something hot. So if you want to boost those bags of teas that you already have, get a little container of matcha and just add. And there, it usually comes with a little bitty small spoon because you don't need much, and just add a little matcha to that. Now, the secret to it is if you put matcha in your regular tea and you stir it up, it's going to all separate. And you're going to say, Janice told me to put this in here, and all these little green, little round bowls, they won't dissolve. Well, you have to have a whisk. So as you do it, you put a little of your regular tea into another cup. You put your matcha in there, and you whisk it really, really good until it like foams.
Oh.
If you were to go to a coffee shop, um, Starbucks is really big on this. And when you order green tea, you have this foam on the top of it like this. It's not foam that they've added, like if they add foam on coffee, they don't froth.
Yeah.
It's that they stirred it so much that when they put it in, then it rises to the top.
Wow.
So when you do that to your regular tea, you put that in there, and now you stir that into your regular tea, and you have fortified that tea like 3 times the amount that you would get from just a regular tea leaf.
And you can get that in any store?
Any store, any store. I usually get it at a health food store. I get it at Sprouts. I get it at Wegmans. I get it at, oh gosh, um, you know, there is a good news place here, but any really good grocery store that has a health section will have that. And
Okay.
when you look at a tea section and they have all these different types and brands, you'll see matcha there.
Okay. I'm gonna go look for it.
So I'm going to end this to say that along with vitamins, we also need the minerals. We need calcium. That's essential for our bones and our teeth and our skin. We need iron, and that's to carry oxygen to our blood. A lot of times we think we just need iron or we only take it when we're anemic. And the reason the word anemia comes from anemios, which is the word that comes from the blood, and that is an oxygenation of the blood. And in order for the blood to oxygenate properly, it has to have iron. And so if we have this iron every day in something that we eat, we don't need iron supplements. And a lot of people can say, oh, my
Mm.
hands are cold, my feet are cold, and I need more iron, and then I'll take
Yeah.
an iron tablet or take a liquid iron when the blood work doesn't show that their iron is low enough to take that. So you can get iron that carries this oxygen to your blood by eating beans. This is why beans are so important. And some people say, I just don't like beans. I can't eat them. Well, if you eat red meat, you're going to get it. But if you don't eat a lot of red meat, now you need to eat spinach, and you need to eat beans, and you need to eat kale, and you need to eat fortified cereal, which is like the steel oats and barley that's been stilled, or pearled couscous, and all of this will give you an iron boost. And we also need the magnesium. I talked about that, and we need that because we need muscle strength, and especially when we get older, we need um, to strengthen our muscles, and we need to fortify our nervous system. And we all hear all this talk about our vagus nerve, which speaks from our tummy to our brain, but that nerve can't operate functionally like it's supposed to if it's lacking in magnesium and potassium. And
Mm.
potassium, it helps us have healthy blood flow. It helps us keep a healthy blood pressure. It helps us keep a balance of fluid in our, in our blood. So potassium is really good. We get that from spinach, avocados, bananas, plantains, things of that nature, and zinc. Zinc is important because it's for a booster for our immune system. And we usually don't think about it till I got a cold, I don't feel good, so I need some vitamin C and some zinc. Well, we need zinc all the time so our immune system will stay up and operative. And if we do get these colds or viruses, they don't keep us down for a long time. And zinc is essential to heal wounds. I've had 5 neck surgeries, and usually when I see people who've had this, they you can still see that big line, or where they,
Yeah.
and I have been cut in the same place all those times. Thank God I don't keloid, but
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
they
Mhm.
would expect they expected all my doctors were expected me to have a permanent, big scar around my neck like that. But one of the reasons that I don't is because I knew zinc would heal that better than putting some vitamin E oil on there, or better than taking that biotin oil and rubbing it on there.
Yeah.
So I overused, or I overate an abundance of zinc, which is things that a lot of people won't eat. I ate a lot of liver, calf's liver. I ate a lot
Love
of
cat liver.
shrimp, and a lot of oysters, and I ate a lot of pumpkin seeds, and a lot of hemp seed, and a lot of fennel, and a lot of lentils. And not that I liked it. I didn't want to. I didn't want to eat it all the time. But I was like, oh, do you want this scar, Janice? Do you want the scar to heal the best that it can?
Yeah, I didn't even know that though. You know, so that's great information that you're sharing, and you have a whole lot of information as y'all can see. And she trying to get us to get it all while she on here. Like I'm gonna give it all right now.
All right, I'm sorry. That's something
No,
to work on. I'm one of those
no.
people that just talk and talk and talk. That's
Well,
where.
we know that. We know that. That's Janice. But we would like for you to come back and share some of those tips with us. Show us how to make a good salad other than the norm. Show us how to make the granola, you know. And yeah, there was something else you said about coming back to do, but we would love for you to come back uh, when it's Tuesday mornings at 10:30. You can give me some times that you're available, and we can set it up that you come back. Because right now, not just right now, but we need to be healthy totally. And I remember when church in Jersey we used to go to, and one of the ministry was total healing. Total healing is from the head to the feet, not just the word.
That's right. That's
The
right.
word has um, the word has allowed us to obtain the things we need to live a healthy life. And like you said, faith based, and that's what we have to understand. There's things like you said that we need to do according with the word to cause us to live a more healthier life. And appreciate that you pouring into us and sharing some of these things with us so that we also can know and be aware. Now it's wisdom. Now we have to take what we're learning and add it to our spiritual life. We have to take it and begin to our let it show up in ourselves. Yeah. If you have a lot of body aches, if you have a lot like you said that when you're hungry, all those different factors that is raising up or saying, hey, grabbing at you like feed me, feed me, feed me. But there's a healthy way to do it.
That's right.
So your title is see you healthy. See
Exactly.
you healthy. And I know you're gonna
That's right. I just want to put this plug in while I'm here.
go
I
ahead.
have I have my own school that'll be released at the school that we do in the 1212. It'll
Okay.
it'll be released by the middle of this month. From
Wow.
of our leader, Alicia told me
Awesome.
that I should be doing this, and there are segments in there that talks about every month there's going to be segments that talks about a different uh, part of the body and how that body relates to food, so that we can understand why I say food has to meet physiology before you get the results. There's also prayers in there that I have for people who find this difficult. And there's affirmations in there. There's recipes that's going to be in there, and there's going to, and it's short. It's not a whole big thing. I my mindset is that there are only 10 to 15 minute segments. So I just want it to be in the nugget size form so that you can grab it and go and you can apply it, because it doesn't do us any good to get all this information, store it up in, on the shelf somewhere and not put it into practice. And
Yeah.
I want people to go beyond where I am. I want to see them fitter than I am. I want to see them toner than I am. I want to see them to have more energy than I have. And if you start before you get, you know, 65, 70, it will carry you. It will carry you that way. I have a colleague, I'm hoping that I can get her uh, to be on with me or send me a picture. You wouldn't believe it. She's 92 years old and she makes me look slow. so, so, and it's because she started living like this in her 40s.
Long time ago.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Mhm.
and it's not just about being vegan or vegetarian.
Right.
We have some very sick vegetarian and vegan people because
Yes.
they don't know the vitamins that they are.
They're lacking, right?
And so I want you guys to look for that. And when I get actually, it's going to be linked with 1212. You'll see when you go on to school, you see our 1212 school. And to the side of that, you'll see affiliates that Alicia has. And this will be an affiliate there. And
Okay.
so, and it's very, very affordable. It's not something that's going to, challenge somebody's like, oh, I can't do that. So, and I want it affordable like that because I feel that God says, freely has He given, freely I should give. And I do that as much as I can. There's cost to running a business like everything else, and you have to have some of that going, to keep yourself running. But I want as many people who do want it for themselves to have the knowledge available.
Okay.
From experience, not from something they just picked up in a book, but something that somebody has applied it, lived through it, and got results from it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's good. Um, and in the link, you'll see in the descriptions her CU Healthy website, her Facebook is in there. So you can reach out to her if you need to. More powerful information in there. And we thank you, Janice, for coming on and sharing. And that's powerful. Uh, that you're still moving, you're still going. 1 minute she down, and the next minute she got 10 things going on and back up and running. So I don't know how that 90-year-old lady makes you look slow, but
It's always a work in progress. Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much. Yes, so we will see her again. I was thinking today, well, I'm always thinking, but we've been friends for over 16 years because this year Sanaya will be 16. I mean, this month. So we've been friends a long time. And I just thank God that we had the opportunity to uh, cross each other's path.
Well, it was like 2 years before that because Jaden wasn't even born.
That's what I'm saying before that. Yeah. Yeah. And, um, and they're all grown up, your boys. Janice used to say that Jaden was going to be Sanaya's
Uh,
husband. When Sanaya was born, that's going to be her husband. That's going to be her husband. But thank you so much for coming on. And yes, we will have you back on again. There's some other people that I will have on as well. There's so our bodies need so much, our minds need so much of a balance, and all these things bring a balance. The 1212 community. Nikki, I can't think of what her uh, what is called that she does, but All these things, eating correctly, exercising properly, all these things is causes us to be healthy, and we can't no longer do one without the other.
That's right.
We have to bring these things together. If somebody could put in the chat what Nikki's
Her what is her title?
something defining, something defining. I can't think of it right now, but that's knowing your inter side, the intimacy part of you, and how you're made up, and how your body functions. And then we have the 12-12 that teaches us how to operate in causing our personal selves, not the outward, but what's on the inside of us, helping us to human design. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Human design. Nikki Howard does the human design, and that's powerful. How your body connects, and how all these parts, it takes all these different parts to
Mhm.
really become solid in
That's
who we are. So as we go about, we thank you. We'll be back Thursday. I believe Teresa will be on Thursday, and we'll be talking about breathing techniques that we do every Thursday. So I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate uh, all the information you gave, and look forward to you coming back.
Next time, put a clock timer on there, and I'll make sure I'll stay within the time.
Huh?
Next
Oh,
time, put a
oh.
clock timer there, and I'll make sure I'll stay within the time.
Well, we started late. We had to wait a few minutes, so you went a little over, just a little. But when you have a lot of information like that, and you want people to live a healthier life, sometimes it's a little difficult to just squeeze it all in. But hopefully you'll come back. I'm not hoping, I know you'll be back, and you'll share some more with us. So thank you so much for this morning, and everybody have a great rest of the day. And I'm gonna let Janice say her last words.
Well, I say thank you to everybody who watched this segment, and kudos to Leslie. Leslie has been a good friend, and she's like my sounding board. You have to have that one person that you can just go and say, "Let me tell you, this is happening," and you know what the answer is, and you know what to do. But you need that person who's seasoned enough that'll listen to you. And if when we're face to face or we're on a Zoom and I can see her, or even if I can't, I can just see her eyes going, mm-hmm. Like, you know better, you know what to do. And after I get it all out, and then we pray, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm done with that. It's done. And I don't think I would be where I am now, and the things that I know, um, and knowing how to apply them, and have the courage and the just have enough confidence to get out here and do it. If it was not for her, so I really
Don't make me cry.
I really appreciate that. It's not one of these people that you see all the time. You can just go out to lunch with all the time. We're in different places, different states, but there is no boundary in God, and there's no boundary, in the words. And when you give out encouraging words, and when we pick up and we can call each other, it's just like we never miss a beat. You can just start at that point and carry on. So I appreciate her, and I know that this broadcast, her program, Leslie's Lessons Learned, actually comes from a place where she's learned some lessons, and not it's not all about her. It's about the community. Like she mentioned, we are all a part of God's family, and God takes every part of us to make a whole. And I appreciate that from her so much. And I thank you guys for listening to me. And I would love your support if you like this kind of information. You like what I have to share. When you know now that it's more than about losing weight, it's about understanding the principle behind how you got there and how to get out. Please connect with my new school community that's coming out soon. And you have no excuse because we're always in the 12-12 community, so you're going to see it on the side. So just click it and find out what it's all about. If it's not for you, I know you have friends who are our colleagues or people that you know that could use this information. Just remember my name and pass it on, because that's how iron sharpens iron. That's how we help each other. So that's
Thank you. We'll have an amazing day, the rest of everyone. And yep, say your favorite line, Janice.
I see you healthy.
Until next time, have an amazing